photo background. That's what I need, Jenna, is a photo background. Hey everybody, welcome for the like 100 of you that already piled in. My name is Jeremiah Taylor, and this is your February. It is still February, right? Feels like I don't know. Feels like I'm in a time warp. This year is going so fast. But welcome to your February masterclass. We've got an amazing speaker. In fact, back by popular demand, we have an amazing speaker today. And we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna actually do like kind of like just a Q&A, hang out, and mostly this is about Glennda entertaining me, and she's great at that. So I know it's gonna be amazing. But hey, as you join, I always wait to see if somebody's gonna beat me to this. Go in there. We go. Mark got it. Go in the chat. Tell us where you're coming from. Let's make sure this thing's on, and we can communicate with you all. Uh, Mark is not only in Tucson, he's like on the other side of the wall from me. So if you hear somebody like shout in pain, that means Mark fell down next door. All right, where we got? We got Vegas, Idaho, South Carolina, Grand Blanc, Michigan, Sacramento, another Tucson, Lansing. Glenda, you're in Atlanta, right?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Amazing. All right, we still got people piling in. Hey Jenna, how many people registered for this today? Were we plus or minus 1,000?
We're plus 1,000. Glenda
We're
brings
plus
a
a
big
thousand.
crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Well,
stars, get out.
yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And you know
Um,
what? This is my lucky jacket. This is my once upon a time I sold a big ass house jacket. And I just feel like anytime that I wear this jacket, like great things happen to me.
there you go. That's amazing. I like that. I love Once Upon a Time I Sold a Big Ass House. Y'all, if you are not in a comfortable place and have a spot to like really take some notes, you're about to get 57 minutes of just nuggets from Glenda. So uh Once Upon a Time I Sold a Big Ass House. That is amazing. I love that. All right, we're almost to 300. Let me get us kicked off. So for those of you that live outside of social media and have not heard of Glenda Baker, let me just give a quick introduction. So Glenda is based out of Atlanta. She's ranked in the top 1% of real estate agents across the US. You lead an all female team. You've been in Forbes, Entrepreneur Magazine. And then, like, I heard you have a couple TikTok followers, like getting close to 1 million followers on TikTok. She's got you've had some videos that have like 30 plus million views and shares on TikTok. Um, but I think the reason people that love you is because you're authentic. You're fun to listen to. You share tips for buyers, sellers, you coach agents, you advise on wealth building through investing in real estate, which I love that you advocate for that. You've been an expert on like HGTV, ABC, CBS, HBO, Disney, Netflix, and I'm probably forgetting some. And so now today you get to go to the primetime stage of the Ojo Masterclass after being with all the second tier media outlets. Um, so Glenda, it's our pleasure to have you back. Thanks so much for coming back and doing this with us.
I am so excited to be here with you. And I was thrilled to know that you were going to be the one who was going to be interviewing me. I remember that amazing dinner that we had at the Atlanta Athletic Club right at sunset and the class that we had here in Atlanta. And I think that you like spit out your water when I was telling the story about Match.com. It was hilarious. Every time I tell that story, I've never received a better reaction than you spitting the water out at the private country
Yeah,
club
yeah,
across the table when I said I sold 27 houses on Match.com.
yeah. I will never forget that story either. There was like 15 of us. We're having this really nice dinner. You know, there was Chris, and like it was some of the top agents in Atlanta and some of the other executives from Loan Depot. When Glenda starts telling the story about how she sold 27 houses for Match.com, I left it. It was out the nose, out the mouth, on the table. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
Ah, that's amazing. I think I hope we have time for the Match.com story because it is my all-time favorite Glenda story. Um, but we got a list of questions
Okay.
from people. And then, hey, y'all, we're going to open up for more questions. So, Jenna, how should people um, put questions in the chat, put them in Q&A? How do we want to grab more questions? This is like totally free form. We're just going to hang out.
If you have questions for Glennda throughout this next 1 hour together, on the bottom of your screen, you'll see the Q&A bar. So drop them in there. We will get to them throughout the next 55 minutes together.
Cool. Cool. All right. So I want to start off with like, just help us with how'd you get started? How'd you get here? Because I think for a lot of people, like they hear 1 million followers on TikTok and they create this story about like, how in the world did that happen? Now I've talked to you about this before. You've been really purposeful about it. And I know this started with like posts from the port. So take us back to the beginning. Like, how'd you start in real estate? Give us a little backstory and help people ground some context.
So I've been selling real estate since Jesus was a baby, over 31 years. And I run an all-female team here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've always kind of just looked at what the trends were, what real estate agents were doing, what the top agents were doing, and just kind of would pick and choose what they were doing, and I would Glendify it. And that was from the beginning of my career. I never ever felt the need to reinvent the wheel. I just followed what the best agents were doing and took those practices and kind of put my special sauce on them and then did them myself. And that has really been a recipe for success for me. I started in video in 2016 with a Facebook Live. It was called Glennda Live. And I was sweaty. It was hot in my office. I had a high school kid filming it. I was wearing this dress and it had these beautiful paisley design, but the paisley design fell like right over my boobs and I looked like they were like cow udders. I look back at that video and I'm like, that did not just happen to me. Like, seriously? Like, did I really post that and I can't get it off, obviously. It's on the internet, for God's sake. And then I got better. Like, I got all whacked out at an inspector and I was like, I think I can do that Facebook Live thing in my car. And I like pushed the button. And one of my followers, one of my friends, Scott Davis, said, you could call this post from the Porsche. And I was like, oh, wow, I like that. So then I started just recording video in my car. And that went really well. And then I was at a conference and I saw that somebody had posted a TikTok video and they had 43,000 views. And it was Zachary Faust. He was in Delaware. And I was like, if this guy can get 43,000 views in Delaware, like, I never forget looking at Sergio and saying, if he can do video, I can do video. And I came back to Atlanta and I said, I'm going to do TikTok videos. And that's what I did.
So I want to go back to the beginning there because you did something. You actually did two things that I think is a thread that I see across so many top agents. Number one is you saw what other people were doing and you did your version of R&D. You Glendified it, right? At our team, we call it R&D, rip off and duplicate.
Yeah.
Right. So you figure out what works and then you do it your way.
Yep.
That's a huge takeaway. Number two is that you didn't like get ready to make some videos and buy a green screen and a bunch. Like you were upset at the home inspector. You sat down in the Porsche and you started a Facebook Live. And that's what started this thing that like, frankly, it's turning into a media empire, right? And what it really was you just got started. And I think that's a key thing people should take away. So how did you, like, at any point in your head, were you like, geez, I mean, what are people going to think? Like, what kind of camera do I need? Or were you just like, I'm just going to record stuff?
I just recorded it from my phone and I didn't, like, it never occurred to me that people would be mean to me because you got to keep in mind, I started with Facebook Live and all those people were my friends. Like, they really were my friends, right? And so nobody was mean to me. Then when I started posting on TikTok, I got a lot of positive encouragement. And every now and then there would be somebody who would say, who's this old lady? Like, her voice makes me crazy. Like, well, is she still stuck in 1990? Look at her big hair. And I really kind of thought it was funny. And I never really paid too much attention to it because everybody was pretty positive. And every day I wake up, I just say, my name is Glennda Baker. Amazing things happen to me. My name is Glennda Baker. I'm a woman of action. And I just think that the action part of it is so critical because you see these great ideas, you see people doing stuff, and and I hate to say this, and I don't hope I don't upset anybody, but there are people that are selling more real estate than you that are not nearly as good as you. And so, but the difference between you and them is that they're taking action. So I want to inspire, impact, and inform people, and I want to inspire people to take action.
Love that. And those two things you did, those are your daily affirmations, right?
Yeah. So every single day, and I say them all day to myself. In the morning, I say them outside, like verbally to myself, so I can hear them. But all day long, anytime that something could go off the rails, I'm like, my name is Glennda Baker, and only amazing things happen to me. My name is Glennda Baker. I'm a woman of action. My name is Glennda Baker, and everybody's going to know my name. And I say those three affirmations all day, over and over and over again. And I just never ever let anything bad like settle.
Yeah. Now, here's what's amazing. When you look for positive things and when you set those positive things out in front of you, you find them. Because I
Yeah.
guarantee if we went and we read all your TikTok comments and all your stuff, the people that are looking for the negative stuff would find more than enough of it to satisfy themselves, right? The
Oh, yeah.
reality is you're looking for the positive stuff, so you're finding the positive stuff. It's amazing how the world works in your favor when you what is it like, ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find. Pretty straightforward how that works, and I think Glenda's put that to work for her. um so I'm going to dig into some of the questions from the folks that we got as prep, and I think this first one is a great question, which is, how do you develop the ideas for the content on your pages?
Yeah. So, like, we think that the stuff that happens to us, we don't think anything about it because we deal with real estate day in and day out. And I think that you're missing the opportunity to create content because everything that you do is second nature to you. So, anytime that I have an idea, it's really simple. And you guys are going to say, oh my God, she's such a dinosaur. So, on the front of my phone, I have this thing, it's called Video Ideas, and I open it up, and right there it says, like, what is the idea? What was the inspiration for it? And what do you want to say about it? And literally that's it goes in. As soon as something comes in my head, I put it right there. I open up my laptop, I go down my Google sheet, and when I shoot content, I just have all of my topics right there. And I think that you can find great content just about anywhere. If you are a new agent, look in these Facebook groups. If you look in Facebook groups, stuff that people like talk shit about all of the time in these Facebook groups, that is great content for you to give your opinion on. Because if they're talking about it in a Facebook group, one of their buyers or sellers has approached them with it. The other thing is once upon a time and the end are equivalent to just listed and just sold. And agents are missing the opportunity to not only tell the story of their client, but also to tell the story about the process and about the house. And so, why did Bobby and Susie decide to work with you to sell their house? Why did Bobby and Susie decide to work with you to buy a house? What was the process that you took them through? Where was the friction? Where was the pain? And where was the pleasure? The drama and the trauma is what comes in between. That's what people bite into. So don't think that what you're doing is just second nature and it's not interesting, because every transaction is different, every house is different, and there's unlimited content to be found in the client, the process, and the product.
I love that. I love that. So there's a couple questions about your video ideas. So I'm going to take us back to the tactics, because I think sometimes people get bogged up in tactics, which just makes them. That's a Google form you saved to the homepage on your phone, right?
It's a Google form. I even did it myself. And then I emailed it to myself and I held down the link and I saved it to my home screen. I was like,
That's
oh
amazing.
my gosh, I Googled how to do it. Like I was like, how do I do this? And so it's just, if I can do it, that's the thing. Hello. I am not technologically savvy. I am a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 57 years old. Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
That's amazing.
Oh, and you know
and
what?
now,
Before I forget this, I want to just say a lot of people, and I was talking about this yesterday with some friends. The reason that a lot of people don't want to do video is because they think it's above them or they think it's beneath them. They think that it's too hard, that they're not good on video, or they'll never figure out how to do it. Or they think they're too good to do it. And I've got news for you. It's us people in the middle that are actually doing it that are really taking away the business from the people that think it's beneath them or the people that think it's above them.
That's right. That's right. I love that. Now, let me ask you this.
Yep.
Does it matter if it's Google Forms? Could it be like a scratch piece of paper? Could it be some other snazzy thing?
Yeah.
The magic in this
so like this is
that
the
you're
back
writing
of
it down.
that's the back of a check that I was like, oh, I need to write this down right this very second. I didn't have my phone with me. Before I did my Google form, it was all in my notes app on my phone. That said video ideas. I put it in the Google form for one specific reason. I can open up my laptop, I can go down my Google sheet, and I can check off the videos that I've done. It also reminds me what I was thinking when I put the idea down. That was really what was key for me, was because I would have the idea and then I wouldn't film until 2 weeks later, and I would have forgotten what it was that like made me think about that idea. So that was why I put what was the inspiration, what was the link, and then what do I want to say about it.
I love that. I love that. And I think what you're combating with that Google Forms thing is what we all do, right? Which is like, oh, I should make a video about that. That would make great content. And then like you sit down a week later to make the content. You're like, what was that thing that I said would be great? Like, I love it. You just took action. You're leaving yourself a little note. You're leaving yourself something to get your brain going so that you can do that. That's amazing. All right. I love the content ideas. I may steal that one myself. All right. Second up. Last year, you talked about it's not about virality and vanity, it's about value and visibility. How, a year later, how is that held up? Like, how is that continuing to shape your social media brand?
Oh, my stars and stripes. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And this is the thing is like, I, I, so once upon a time, I sold a big ass house, went viral, right? So that was 2 years ago, that went viral. I haven't had a video that's had over 10 million views since that video. But what has happened is I've had a lot of videos have 1 million views. I've had a lot of videos have 2.5 million views. So it wasn't all about going viral. It was about the value that I brought. One of the videos that I did was in a podcast, and the host of the podcast, Byron Lazine, posted it on his Instagram, and it got 17.5 million views. So it's not really about the vanity of it or the virality of the video. It's about the value that you're bringing with the idea. One of the videos that I did earlier this year was about the housing market. And I said, January 3rd, the housing market is going to start to explode, and it's going to run through August or mid-September, because we're going to run into this presidential election. No matter what side of the aisle you fall on, this is not a political comment. It's just the ebb and flow of real estate. And so you need to sell everything you can between January and September, because then you can go on vacation. It'll be quiet Q4. That video has been shared almost 80,000 times. And it doesn't have that many views, but it has so many shares because people kept putting it out there and putting it out there. That's what you want. I'd much rather have 100 views and 50 shares than 1 million views and 10 shares.
Yeah, that's amazing. So look, for most of us, right, that we've done some stuff with social media and we've never have had the level of success that you have. I think it would be helpful to understand social media. To me, strikes me a lot like going to the gym, right? Like you go in, you do hard work, you leave sweaty, and you're like, why am I not skinny and good looking today? It's a long-term game that takes a lot of consistency. So if if there's an agent here, maybe they're doing nothing, or maybe they're doing something, and they want to make social media like a core part of their business. What's the mindset they have to be successful about what's the level of time and money and energy that I'm going to invest in this before I start to see dividends?
You don't have to put any money into it. You can literally film everything from your phone. You can literally edit in CapCut. You can put the captions on within the platform, whether it's TikTok or Instagram. You can spend zero money, but you have to be consistent in your cadence of posting and in value that you're bringing. So, talking about what people don't know. Well, Glennda, I'm a brand new agent. I've never sold a house. I don't have any content to put out. Call your 5 best friends and ask them, what do you want to know about real estate? What mystifies you about the real estate process? What does your dream home have? So, what would you tell your best friend about real estate? What would you tell your best client? And what would you tell your therapist? Those are the buckets of content. And you want those 3 buckets because those are well rounded. Also, you want the audience to bite in. You want to give them something that they can like take away from the video. And so anytime that you can like tell them, you can debunk the myth of real estate. We're not all walking around in the septic field in our stilettos. When you can talk about what real life and real estate is for you in your market, in your community, that is when you win on social media. People want to know, why is a primary bedroom on the main floor more valuable in Cobb County than it is in Fulton? Simple stuff like that.
That's amazing. I love that. You talked about cadence and consistency. If I'm an agent, I got my phone, I got my platforms, I got CapCut, whatever. Hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, like what's the floor? Not what's the ideal. Like what's the floor?
What the floor is what you will actually do. Don't piss me off and make me take you out behind the building. Like literally, don't say you're going to post every week and then post once a week. Like whatever you will do, that is your cadence. I started out posting on TikTok Tuesday and Thursday. Like that's it. Tuesday and Thursday, 2 videos a week. Then when I was like, okay, I know how to work TikTok now, I think I could post a 3rd video. And I knew how I was more comfortable on video. I could record more videos so I could post more videos. So then I posted on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then I just worked up and just posted, I got to where I posted 5 days a week. And that was really a sweet spot for me. That 5 days a week was super, number one, it kept me going to the gym. Okay, yeah. And my body wasn't hurting. Like I wasn't dying from the cadence of it. So I would say at least 2 times a week, but in a perfect world, I'd love for you to post 5 days a week.
Love that. I love that. Now, how do you, is there a trick or is there a thing or a way of thinking that helps you kind of position your videos so that you showcase your properties or your content that in a way that it attracts buyers or sellers?
So I don't post real estate porn. I don't post videos of houses. People aren't going to your social media, the real estate agent in Sarasota, to look at pretty pictures. Trust me, they're going to a big search engine, a big portal to do that. What they're coming to you for is intimate information that they can't get from Google, period. Things that they aren't going to get from searching on a portal. Okay. So if 123 Banana Street is a hot property that just listed in your area, what you want to do is you want to talk about, why is 123 Banana Street a hot property? Like what makes everybody want to buy 123 Banana Street? And I always say focus on the positive. Don't try not to. Sometimes I do talk shit about some listings, but don't talk nicely. You want it to be positive. You want it to be encouraging. You want it to be great. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Pull a different listing and just talk talk about the attributes of it, talk about why somebody would buy that property. That's the thing. But you're not posting videos of the front of 123 Banana Street. That is once upon a time and the end. You want to focus on what the story that's in the middle. That's everything that you do is the story that's in the middle. That's the cupcake that everybody bites into. The icing is the once upon a time, and the end is the part that you never ever eat. So you want to focus on the cupcake.
Love it. I love it. You want the meat and potatoes, the story. That's what engages people. Now, you are known for your stories. You tell the best stories. And so uh I would love if you got like a favorite story that you just are burning to share, you should share it. Uh,
Well, I mean, selling the wrong house is probably that's probably the story that most people don't believe that's really 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 true, and not any part of it is embellished. And so people just can't believe, like, but look, I showed the guy two houses on the same street. I showed him a total of five houses in one day. And he says, I want to buy the house on West Paces Ferry. I want to make an offer on the house on West Paces Ferry. And there were two houses on West Paces Ferry. The guy was going to tear the house down. He was going to build his dream home. He didn't do an inspection. He didn't do an appraisal. He was paying cash. He didn't do a walkthrough because he was going to tear it down. The best thing that could have happened was if a tree fell on it, right? So the day before closing was Sunday. We were going to close on a Monday. And he drove by the house and he calls me. He goes, Glennda, there's still people living in the house. Well, there were never any people living in the house. It was vacant. It was an estate. So that was my first thing. It was like, oh, that's weird. Did somebody like move into it unauthorized? So I called the agent. I said, hey, Patty, it's Glennda. Like, my client drove by and he said that somebody's living in the house. And she goes, Glennda, there's nobody living in the house. He said there were cars in the driveway. Oh, it must have been my assistant picking up everything. Okay. So we go to closing. I told him, I said, it's just her assistant picking up stuff. Oh, okay. We go to closing Monday morning. We close on the house. He wants to go back by the house. And this is back in the olden days. For you young bucks, used to people would get in the car with you. And it just so happened that I had picked this guy up at his office and taken him to the closing office. And he goes, let's go by. I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm like, okay, great. And so we get up to Habersham Road and I get in the right-hand lane and he goes, Glennda, the house is to the left. And I'm like, no, the house is to the right. He goes, Glennda, the house is to the left. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me humor you. And I turn left on West Paces Ferry. And in the distance, I see the sign. And it dawns on me, oh my God, this is the wrong house. And we drive by and there's cars and people. And he goes, I told you there's people living in the house. And I flipped that car around like I was Mario Andretti. And I drove down West Paces Ferry and I flew into that other driveway and I jumped out of that car like I was Vanna White. I was like, this is the house you bought. And I will never forget, as long, I mean, I can tell you what I had on. I can tell you what the guy had on. The guy sits down on this knee wall right outside the house and he puts his head in his hands. And I'm just sitting there and he's silent and he looks up and he goes, you sold me the wrong house. And I'm like, the wrong house? What are you talking about? This is the right house. This is an acre. You would have never gotten that other house for this. Who wants to live over there on the History Center side? Like, this is the right house. And you can put the garage over here. This is perfect. And he goes, well, I think you might be right. I got that guy back to his car. I got him, I drove out of the driveway of his office park and I drove into the next driveway and I was physically ill. And word got out that I had sold the wrong house. And I will never forget this. The broker for the listing agent picked up the phone and he called me, Buddy Weston, and he goes, Glennda Baker I just want to know, how the hell do you sell the wrong damn house? And I said, well, buddy, you taught me contract law, so I'm going to defer to your expertise. So, but it was the truth. I mean, and it was so funny. I had people visiting. Some agents came to Atlanta and visited me and shadowed me. And I took them on the tour of the wrong house. And they literally were white. Like they were white as a ghost. They were like, did you really do that? I was like, yeah, like it's the truth.
That's amazing. Okay, so for all of you that were just captivated by Glenda's story, go to the bottom and find the thing that says reactions. If you were scrolling through the platforms and you saw a thing that said the time I sold the wrong house, and then you clicked on that and you listened to that, how many of you would like, subscribe, follow, listen to? I mean, there you go. There is no secret why Glenda is as successful as she is. She is engaging. She's hilarious. Uh, that's all it is. Just be funny, be authentic, and maybe sell the wrong house and just be okay admitting it.
But Jeremiah, so many brokers called me. So I did a video on that. And so many brokers called me and said, you need to take that down. You look like a complete and total dumbass. Like nobody is going to work with you when they see that video. And when I started doing video, like the agents in Atlanta, they were like, this is not good. Like you say bad words, like you're telling people stuff that they don't want to know, that they don't want to hear. Like you're showing a side of the industry that the consumer doesn't need to see. And I thought about that for about 5 minutes. And then I was like, yeah, I'm used to being a little bit different. And I just didn't let anything deter me. And I kept that video up and I just kept telling real estate and real life. And it was called Sugar and Spice Real Estate Advice. And that's what it was. And I just felt like I just feel like that people bite into my stories and my videos because they're real, they're relevant, they're relatable, and they're reliable. And that's why people believe in me. So it's important.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. And you have fantastic alliterations in all of your naming conventions. It's like they're all Glendisms: sugar and spice, real estate advice. I don't think that works for me. It works great for you. That's perfect. I love that. All right, so I'm going to go back to tactical a little bit.
Okay.
I've watched you kind of start from Porsche posts in the Porsche, which was mainly on YouTube, right, and
Yeah.
Facebook, and then now you've grown to where you're on all the platforms. You've been able to parlay like this huge TikTok following into Instagram and other places. I'm assuming you've got a content team that helps you do all these things now. Walk us through that transition. Like for somebody they're doing a little bit of this, maybe they have the resources to be able to hire somebody. Like, when's the right time? How do you find them? What'd you do to build that team?
Okay. So first off, there's not a team. I started with Denver. I found him on Instagram. Some agent had used him to do a video. I said, if he's good enough for her, he's good enough for me. I didn't check his website. I didn't do anything. And Denver started coming to my house and shooting the videos. It was Denver and Sam. Sam was the lighting guy. And we would shoot 12 videos. And now, just because I'm a little bit better on video, I can shoot a lot more. And I shoot for about 4 hours and I can get 30 to 50 videos. But we just set up a studio in my house on Friday. So I can do a lot of the filming here at my house when I'm not with Denver. And I post everything myself. Nothing is scheduled. I post it every morning. And by the way, I went to post this morning on Instagram and my account has been suspended. I'm a little bit worked up about that because I have 177,000 followers. But I posted, homes.com sent me this awesome box. And I did this look at my shirt. Like, this is so awesome. And then I did a taste test of that new caramel Reese cup. And though neither of those were like paid or anything, that was just like me shouting out things that I love. And Instagram is a little bit mad with me. So somebody's gonna have to fix that. So if you're looking for me, you can Google Glennda. It's like hashtag Google Glennda. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook, and I'll be back on Instagram in a minute. But just don't think I'm like not on Instagram, because I am. But I think that you don't need a team, and I don't want people to not do video because they think that, oh, I don't have a Denver. I want you to know that you can do it from your phone. And I think that that's the most important thing. But you need the videos, the posts need to be your voice. Like,
Yep.
like yesterday, I posted this video on TikTok about my big ass business card. Let me see if I have one here for you. I can show it to you. I might not have it. Oh, darn it. I don't have it in my backpack, but I posted this 4x4 business card that has a picture of me and my team on the front. And on the back, it says, "Thank you for letting us show your home. Like, we're going to consider a second showing. It's not the right floor plan. The lot characteristics aren't correct, or we just started looking." And so in that video, I talk about, hey, Mr. Young Buck, and your digital business card. Like, when you go to show 123 Banana Street, that digital business card isn't going to do shit for you. And when it expires, who do you think they're going to call? Your digital business card that they don't have? No. They're going to call me because my big ass business card is there. And so that's the thing, is like, who thinks about a business card? Like, it's
Nobody.
like, that's the easiest thing in the world. And I think that video has like 160,000 views or something.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So
That's
so you don't have to have this big team. You can do it all from your phone. Here's my little tripod thing. Like, this was $8.99 on Amazon.
That's
So
right.
yeah.
So when you say you post yourself and you post from your phone, is that a oh, the algorithms like it better when I post this way, or is it like a nah, I just want to make it easy and I want to post from my phone?
It's like, that's the only way I know how to do it. So
Okay.
like,
All right.
like you think I'm joking. Like, you think, oh, she's not really, it's not really that easy. But no. So like, here are my notes. Can you see that? Here are my notes.
Yep. Yep.
Google Drive. Click the Google Drive. Click it. Here's the folders. See the folders?
Yeah.
Okay. Open the folder. Here's the waves. That's different outfits. So wave 3. Here's all the videos in wave 3, right? So what was it? I can't remember what I did. Oh, the business card. Okay. So here's the business card. You download it and then you upload it into TikTok. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like, literally, like, there is no massive software. There's no zippity zappity. There's no HubSpot, schedule later, Monday, Trello, like, none of that shit. Like, literally, it is a Google Drive. It is upload to TikTok. That's it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that. I just love that you keep it simple and that you
Yeah.
just do it. And that's really probably the key takeaway for anybody today is a lot of times all that complicated stuff, it slows you down and it makes it so it never happens. And when you just do it and you just keep it simple, that's when it's most likely to happen.
Yeah. You got to
All right.
remove the friction from the process, because, and it doesn't, I mean, that is really like, it's a well-oiled machine because all of the friction in the process has been removed.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. There's a handful of questions. I'm going to group these into like themes, and I think most of these are. This theme is like, how do you get over what people might or might not think about you, or like there? It's like, do you worry that your past clients are going to care? Do you worry that agents in your market won't like you leaving the big ass business card at their listings? Like, and I think most of that is like, how do you just get out of your own way to do what you think is the right thing without worrying about what other people are going to think? Or maybe you do.
So I did at one point care what other people thought and what other people said. And what I realized was it was much more a reflection of their fear than mine. And so this is the way I look at it is if Susie has a great relationship with her seller, she doesn't need to worry about anybody leaving their business card because her seller is in relationship with her. It is the real estate agents that are service providers. Those are the people that I am absolutely taking out one by one out of the real estate industry. You need to move from service provider into relationship with your client. And then you don't need to worry about me and my videos. You don't need to worry about me and my big ass business card. And everybody who works with me, it's hilarious. I have one client, and she goes, I love when I see your TikTok and it's of us or somebody that we know. And I did a video and I posted it last week about a house that I have under contract. And I said, this house, when I walked into it, the first thing I thought was that it had been lived in and it had been loved in. And if you looked up the word home in the dictionary, a picture of this house would be next to it. And the homeowner sent me a message and said, my husband and I both broke down in tears when we saw your video because there is nothing that we wanted to do more as parents than provide a loving home for our kids. And we're so happy that we worked with you. And so, and even like Scott and Zanetta, who had a nightmare of a transaction, they absolutely love that they are the poster child for this horrible, terrible builder. And the people that work with me know that they could be a TikTok at any moment. I mean, I was with people before I got to you this morning, and the guy, we got into the driveway and he goes, I know that you're putting that faucet in your stories. I mean, it's a faucet of a flying dragon and it's 24 karat gold plated. Yes, that shit will be in my stories. And it's just like, they love that. They love, and it keeps me top of mind. I mean, that's the thing is it keeps me top of mind. One thing I will warn you against is don't talk shit about other real estate agents. Um, I've been guilty of that myself. When another agent acted up or another agent wasn't professional. And really, it was much more a reflection on my lack of professionalism talking about them than it was them just being a complete and total dumbass. So if I warned you about anything, it would just be, don't talk badly and don't talk badly about your clients either. And whether you liked them and you never want to see them again, just don't talk bad about them. Keep it all positive and helpful, inspire, impact, and inform. All of the content that you make should be educational and entertaining and with a good spirit. If Taylor has taught us anything, it is the power and positivity.
That's right. That's right. I love that. And like that's great advice because that's how not to lose your license 101, right? How not to end up in front of professional standards or whatever. There is so I'm gonna turn off my background for a minute so that I can hold my phone up and it'll actually show you what's on it. So there's a handful of questions that are like, no, like you're not cutting to the point. Like I need to know, how do I make a video and post it? And so like I've got Instagram. So literally what you're saying is I click that little plus button, I pick a video, and then I hit post.
Yeah.
And like there's not some magic thing you're doing. It's
no.
literally like shoot it on your camera, hit
no,
plus,
like literally, like you downloaded the video and now I can upload it. So look, I talked about this guy that didn't like that I ate with my teeth touching the fork. And so literally I just uploaded that to Facebook. Or flat fees. I talked about flat fee attorneys. So look, here's this little arrow button, and then you scroll over here to TikTok. See that TikTok right there? TikTok. And then you upload it. Like literally, like that's all you do. So, and like I have my videos, they already have. So this is the other thing. It's the other big question. No, you don't need to use trending audio to get views. No, you don't need to do the videos within the platform to get views. No, you don't have to do captions or dynamic captions or Hermosi captions. You don't have to do that. You have to provide value. That is what you have to do. Like if you post some stupid shit video of you dancing, like, no, nobody gives a shit. Like my friend Brian, he's a mortgage person. He posted a great video about chicken nuggets when he worked at McDonald's. That didn't get him any clients getting a mortgage. So if you post stupid videos about you dancing, that's not going to get you videos. The one I dislike the most is, of course, we're realtors. We enjoy happy hour. Of course, we're realtors. We do this. Like that, nobody's working with you from that. But if you do a video that talks about septic tanks, or you do a video that talks about why Bobby and Susie did not buy 123 Banana Street, or what was it about 123 Banana Street that Bobby and Susie said we have to have this house, or how you won in a multiple offer situation. Those are things that bring value to the buyer and the seller. And you don't want to just create content for buyers and sellers. If you are in Dallas, then you probably have a shit ton of people moving from California. So you want to talk about why people in California move to Dallas, Texas. Okay. Because you want Lucy in LA to send you all of her people. And then that way you can drop it on real estate offices in LA. You can drop that video literally on if you're with ABC Real Estate, you can drop it on ABC Real Estate in LA. And then all of those people will see your video. And who do you think they're going to think of when they think of Dallas, Texas? It's like not that difficult.
I love it. I love it. So you're basically taking like a search engine optimization approach to all your content. It's like, hey, if I pulled my friends and family, my therapist, and I forget the third one you said, and they said these are the things I want to hear about, that's what you're shooting content about. I think for those of you that are like thinking like, well, geez, how do I turn the corner and become this person that has all these views? You can take a page from Glennda. Like we're 48 minutes into this conversation and it feels like 5. Glennda's engaging. She's easy to talk to. She's funny. And so that there is some self-reflection here. Like I know when I watch the videos I make of myself, I'm like, oof, that's rough, right? Do you ever have those moments where like you audit the video and you're like, oh gosh, that's tough. I shouldn't post it. And you end up redoing it. Or do you just send it and go?
Sit down. I have one video where I'm in my hair rollers. Like, you need to get over yourself. Y'all, you will not believe this. Yesterday, I did my Glennda's Guru podcast with Tracy Tudor for $1 Million Listing. Well, I had just been to the beauty parlor and she blew my hair straight. I looked like a drowned rat. She washed all of my makeup off with, the water going here, there, and everywhere. I didn't have time to put myself back together. I'm literally on my podcast with Tracy Tudor. She looks like a zillion dollars, and I literally look like something that the cat drug in. But I was just like, who gives a shit? Like, nobody cares about what you look like, because when you hear that podcast and she talks about how she became such a great agent, that's all you care about. I mean, she gave like 3 things, because one of the questions I ask is, if you were able to tell yourself something on day 1, what would it be? What are the 3 things you would tell yourself to do on day 1? And she gave those. Do you think anybody gives a shit that I look like my hair was flat? No. Get over yourself. Like that's the thing, is you are not the star of the show. The content is the star of the show. That's where agents and their ego get in the way, because you think that your videos are about you. Your videos aren't about you and they're not for you. They're for your audience. And if you're making content, you're making content without context because you don't know what to talk about. And if you make it all about somebody else, it doesn't matter that you're in front of your Maybach. It doesn't matter that you're in front of a $5 million house. It doesn't matter that you have your extensions in. All it matters is that you brought value to the audience, to the person who's taking in the content. That's where agents are off track, is that you're making content out of context. You don't even know why you went on Caravan today. And you don't even know why you took video of a $5 million house, because you don't know shit from Shinola, because you're worried about yourself. You're not worried about the consumer and what they care about.
Yeah. I love
Sorry, got a
that.
little
I
bit
love
on a
that.
rant there. Sorry about that.
No, you know what? It makes a lot of sense. And it's funny that you say that. I had a conversation with another content creator earlier this week, and I was asking some questions. And I said, why don't you do videos about this? And they said, I'd love to do videos about that, but I don't think it would resonate with my audience, and I don't want to alienate them. And so I really focused on doing content that, is X, Y, and Z, because I think that's what resonates with my audience. And it's interesting, right? Because it's a little different mindset. I think there's something to learn from what you just said, which is that your content isn't about you. It's not how you want to be perceived. It's not about what you look like or who you are. It's about your audience. What do they want? What do they engage with? And so there's a bunch of questions around content, and like, do you repost the videos that get a lot of views? Do you reuse that content in different ways? Would love to hear you talk just a minute about that. Of like, how, when you find something that like hits or that works really well, how do you parlay that into more stuff that works well?
So I don't share the same video on different platforms on the same day, but I share the same videos on different platforms on different days. So the big ass business card, I shared it on TikTok yesterday. I was going to share it on Instagram today. So I'll share it on LinkedIn, which there's nobody on LinkedIn. And at first I thought that those LinkedIn people, I thought I had to be all buttoned up. I thought I didn't have to have my stars. I thought I had to talk really nice and be very clear and super educated. Those people love the crazy content more than anybody because everybody over there is so uptight. So when you are over there and you are like really creating out kind of outside of the box content, they love that. But the thing about it is that like somebody said, oh, aren't you afraid you're not going to appeal to everybody? You're going to piss somebody off. Look, I am weeding out the riffraff. You're either my people or you're not. And I'd much rather you find that out on video before I have to deal with you for 3 months and I hate you and you hate me. So I would much rather just weed everybody out. The people that work with me embrace my personality. They embrace the value that I bring to the table. And so I think that just whenever you're talking about content creation, when you talk about alienating your audience, I think that when you're real, relatable, relevant, and reliable, you're not going to alienate your audience.
Real, relevant, relatable, reliable. Did I get that right?
You did.
Jenna, will you capture those in our notes? There's a couple like you've just spit out so many things that are tremendous value. Would it be possible for us to get a copy of your big ass business card that we can include in the recording of the front and the back of it? And then, hopefully somebody will see that if they have a referral for Atlanta, they'll call you and your team. And then maybe a screenshot of like, what are the content pillars you have in the Google form? I think those things might help people kind of get going.
Yeah.
I would love to, like, there's a bunch of very tactical questions of like, which platform do you do what on? How long should the videos be? So if you can just like
So
riff for a minute on that.
rapid fire questions, which I'm never ever good at because I always want to tell a story. But how long should the video be? So for me, the sweet spot is somewhere between 53 seconds and 73 seconds. That's really the sweet spot for me. If I post something that is between 53 and 73 seconds, it gets watched about 33% of the people watch it all the way through.
Okay, so 53 and 73 seconds. What platform? Like, could somebody be successful doing Facebook?
You can do it on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Like the platforms are training the audience for short form content. So where I want you to post is where you will post. Don't post where I post. Don't post where I'm most comfortable. Post where you're most comfortable. I have one friend, he posts everything on LinkedIn and he's killing it on LinkedIn. I have one friend who posts everything on YouTube. She's killing it on YouTube. So post where you will actually post. Don't get consumed or caught up in the mud.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. I kind of saved this one for the end because I think this is a highly productive individual question that gets asked of every highly productive individual, which you obviously are, is how do you do it all? Like, how do you juggle it all? Is there a schedule hack or anything you can share that helps you keep it all together?
People think that time is your most valuable asset. Time is not your most valuable asset. Attention is your most valuable asset. Don't be distracted from something you should be devoted to. You should be devoted to your business during business hours, period. If you are consuming, you are not creating content. You need to time block and you need to make a schedule for yourself every single day. There is so much wasted time and attention. Don't be distracted from something you should be devoted to. And if you want to be a productive practitioner in the real estate industry, don't be distracted by bullshit stuff.
I love that. That's amazing. Now you're putting together some courses. You've got ways that people can engage with you.
Yep.
We as a sneak peek, we're going to give away some merch, and we're doing it like we're doing it Glennda style. You have to engage with a post on our social media for you to enter to win the merch. So what I would love to do is have you talk about your set of courses, how agents can connect with you offline. Because I mean, like there was 328 people when I looked at this thing 25 minutes ago. There are 327 now. The testament to how well you keep people engaged.
I love
so
that.
Talk about your new course.
So nobody knows. It hasn't been released to the public yet. I am doing a class called Think $1 Billion with Danielle Garofalo and Gary Gold. Danielle is going to talk about the brand. I'm going to talk about the content and the distribution. And Gary Gold, an agent in Beverly Hills, is going to talk about what to do when you get the listing appointment. And I think that it's the three critical pieces of being an amazing, successful real estate agent. And we're going to bundle those. If you want to know anything about it, just info@glenda.net, info@glenda.net, and just put $1 billion. If you just put $1 billion, then we will get back to you with all of the information. And then I have my Greatness with Glenda. They're all 3-week classes. So it's 3 weeks. The one with Danielle and Gary, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 hour each day for 3 weeks. And then the finale where we're all three together. And then Greatness with Glenda is a 3-week course that talks to you about how to build your brand, and really kind of take your brand and create content with it. So it's kind of brand over brokerage, and you can take it anywhere, and it's not just for real estate. So that's it.
That's amazing. And it's Glenda with 2 N's. And so I
Glenda with 2 N's. My dad's name is Glenn. My name is Glenda. And it's just info@glenda.net. And you can find me. And I have Google. You don't even need to put in my last name. You just put GLENNDA into Google, and you can follow me on your favorite platform. If you're on Instagram, I promise I'll be back soon. But you can follow me on TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn. YouTube.
So here's the post on our social media that if you're in the group, people need to engage with. When you engage with this post, comment on it, like it, etc., you'll enter to win some merch. And Glenda, I would love you to close us out with telling us what's the best career advice you've received.
Take action. Whatever it is, pick something, stick to it, and take action. There are so many people that I see that are so talented and so smart, and they're either paralyzed by perfection or afraid of rejection, that they don't take action. And what you don't understand is that you're literally limiting yourself, and somebody else who's not nearly as good as you is making more money than you because you're not doing it. So take action. My name is Glenda Baker. Amazing things happen to me. My name is Glenda Baker. I'm a woman of action, and my name is Glenda Baker. Everybody's going to know my name. And if you continue to repeat that, put your name in place of Glenda Baker, literally it will change the way that you think about getting your business done. I promise you.
That's amazing. I love it. All right. For the 317 of you that are still here, open up your reactions and tell Glenda how she did. give her heart, a smiley face, balloons, whatever you can give her. There it is. You have impacted a tremendous amount of people. This is going to get sent out to our entire agent network. I know that there will be more than one person that finds inspiration in your story. So thank you so much, Glennda, for spending your time with us. I will make sure that you get some of our new Ojo 2024 Year of the Wooden Dragon merch that we just rolled out. So we'll make sure that gets out to you. And again, thank you so much. Instagram may go down without you, so hopefully they turn you back on soon. And I look forward to seeing you at a conference in the near future. And hopefully you'll do this again for us, because I think you are one of our favorite speakers that I can already see people saying, "Are you coming back?"
I love it. I love it. Actually, somebody told me that I was your most watched masterclass. So that really makes my heart happy. And anything that I can do, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. And I can't wait to see you guys really soon.
Thanks so much. Y'all have a great month. We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.